Welcome to The Wise Stoic. Don't skip. This might be the most important video you watch this year. There's a silent force that very few men ever tap into because it doesn't look like strength. It doesn't roar. It doesn't chase. It doesn't even flinch. It simply is. It's the power of stillness, the rare strength of doing absolutely nothing, not out of fear, not out of apathy, but from a place of grounded, unshakable self-possession. And here's the twist. When you master this, when you stop chasing her, when you stop trying to explain yourself, prove yourself, or control what was never yours to control, that's when she starts chasing you. In a world that's addicted to reaction, silence becomes magnetic. In a world that's screaming for attention, restraint becomes unforgettable. In today's video, we're going to unlock why the man who holds back, not out of cowardice, but from a place of discipline, becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. We'll break it down from a Stoic psychological lens. Why emotional restraint is power, why stillness creates mystery, why doing less, when done intentionally, flips the script entirely. Let's dive deep. Number 1. The hidden strength in stillness. There's a paradox that catches most men off guard. The idea that by doing nothing, no texts, no calls, no begging, no explanations, you can actually do everything. It sounds counterintuitive, but for those who live it, it's undeniable. When you stop chasing, you shift the dynamic. Suddenly, you're no longer the one proving your worth. You're no longer handing out access to your energy for free. Instead, you become the man who sits calmly in the eye of the storm. You become still. And here's the magic of stillness. It creates imbalance. At first, she may rationalize your silence. She might tell herself, "Oh, he's just busy." But over time, the absence of your attention becomes louder than any message you could send. In that quiet, she starts to feel something new, a pull. The emotional current reverses. You haven't disappeared. You've simply stopped reaching. You've stepped back, not because you don't care, but because you've outgrown the need to chase. And when your energy is no longer desperate or reactive, it becomes deeply rooted, like an oak tree, unmoved, composed, present. That's what Stoicism teaches us. Marcus Aurelius said, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul." Stillness isn't stagnation, it's the beginning of inner peace. And ironically, that peace becomes power. She feels it, even if she doesn't understand it. Number 2, energy speaks louder than words. Let me ask you this. Have you ever walked into a room and just felt someone's presence? They didn't speak, they didn't demand attention, but something about them filled the space. That's not charisma, that's centered energy. When you stop sending those just checking in messages, when you no longer respond to her stories with emojis, when you resist the urge to explain yourself or fix something she broke, you shift into a new frequency, a man of restraint, a man of inner control. This is the kind of energy that speaks louder than 1,000 words. Why? Because it's rare. Most men are reacting. Few are refining. Most are chasing validation. Few are chasing purpose. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And when you become that master, your energy carries weight. You no longer chase, you attract. And she feels it. Suddenly she's wondering, why hasn't he texted me back? Did I lose him? Is he over me? Her imagination starts working over time because your absence has created a vacuum. And in that vacuum, your calm confidence becomes irresistible. Number 3, the reverse pull effect. Here's where it gets even more interesting. When you pull back, you don't just regain your peace, you become the gravitational center. This is called the reverse pull effect. When you stop chasing, you create space. And space, when it's intentional, is a psychological trigger for desire. Why? Because people desire what they can't fully grasp. And the moment she realizes your attention isn't guaranteed, she starts leaning in. You're no longer checking her stories. You're not commenting on her posts. You're not trying to win her back. But your absence, that's felt in every corner of her mind. She remembers your last conversation. She rereads your old messages. She lingers longer on your profile. Not because you manipulated her, but because you withdrew your energy in a way that was rooted, not resentful. You didn't ghost. You just grew. You've become scarce, not in a petty way, but in a powerful, self-directed way. Marcus Aurelius again. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You're not pretending to care less. You actually care less, because you've stopped tying your value to her validation. That's not manipulation. That's emotional mastery. Number 4, mystery makes you magnetic. Predictability kills attraction. When she knows every move you're going to make, her mind stops wondering. And when the mind stops wondering, it stops wanting. But when you become mysterious, not because you're playing games, but because you've focused inward, curiosity reignites. She asks herself, why did he stop texting? Is he seeing someone else? Did he move on? Suddenly you're no longer predictable. You're fascinating. Here's what most men miss. Mystery isn't about withholding information for power. It's about living a life that's so focused, so disciplined, so self-led, people simply don't know everything you're doing anymore. And that unknown, that's what makes her curious again. When you stop broadcasting your every thought, when you stop updating her every day, you make room for imagination. And imagination is where real attraction lives. So if you want to be remembered, don't speak louder. Disappear with grace. 5. Her imagination becomes your voice. Let's go even deeper. There comes a point when you've gone silent long enough where she starts doing the work for you, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Her mind replays your last words. She wonders what you're doing. She asks herself why the man who once made her feel so seen has now become so silent. And in that silence, your presence echoes louder than ever. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If her thoughts are now constantly circling around you, guess what? Your silence has become your voice, and her imagination has become your messenger. This is the art of restraint. You're not angry. You're not bitter. You've simply chosen growth. And ironically, that very choice becomes the most compelling thing about you. Stillness is not weakness. It's mastery. Let me leave you with this. In a world that rewards noise, doing nothing is an act of rebellion. In a world where everyone's trying to be seen, silence becomes unforgettable. And in a culture that glorifies instant gratification, restraint becomes rare. And rare is valuable. Stillness isn't about apathy, it's about presence. And presence, real, grounded, quiet presence, is magnetic beyond words. So if you're in a place right now where you're tempted to reach out, explain yourself, or chase someone who's pulling away, stop. Take a breath, come back to center, and realize that your stillness, your silence, your self-control isn't costing you anything, it's saving you. Let's reflect. Drop this in the comments if you're walking the path. Stillness is my strength. Or let me know. What does emotional mastery look like for you right now? This is a journey, and you're not alone. Thank you for watching The Wise Stoic. If this resonated with you, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this, because sometimes the most powerful move is no move at all.